Tyler is not above Nicki Minaj in the big three. If it's Kendrick and it's Drake, and we're excluding J. Cole for whatever reason, it's Nicki Minaj. And number two, Tyler, the Creator, is not the second biggest out west after Kendrick. That would be Doja Cat.
Facts!
Like, Tyler, the Creator, is not like any noticeably better at rapping than Nicki Minaj. Tyler has not proven to me, like he has to y'all, that he is big three worthy. If we just talking bars, rapping ability, the ability to get on different types of songs, to get on other people's beats, not just staying in the comfort of your own beats and then you can do all these different things to make the song sound more appealing because your rapping is a little average, above average. If we're talking about he can get on this person's beat, he can get on a T- beat, he can get on an old school mixtape beat from Wu-Tang or Biggie and Eminem, he can get on an R&B track. Tyler has not shown the ability to do that. All right, Tyler, big three convo. I kind of already discussed this last week, but let's see what Fantano and Company Man have to say about it. We have to define what is the big three to each individual person before we get into calling people who's in the big three, the top three rappers or whatever. See, I'm even putting my own inclination into it. The big three, when it first started for the past generation, talking about Kendrick, Drake, Cole, it was when Kendrick, Drake, and Cole were both all new artists. Drake was popular first, then came Cole, and lastly Kendrick, to be known by the hip hop underground, right? You know, at some type of noticeable scale. It was, these are the three best artists. There are a bunch of new artists. These are the best in terms of who's going to be mainstream popular and, you know, just popular amongst all, you know, general masses, and also who was the better rapper amongst the three, because they all rapped. Yeah, Drake had the singing, but he is a rapper. So the big three, it was a mixture of who's next amongst all the guys: Wiz Khalifa, Freddie Gibbs, Big Sean, Tyler, Kendrick, Cole, Nicki Minaj. All these people started getting popular around the same time, like 2008 to 2010. It was a mixture of who is next and who's going to be the biggest, and also who's going to be the best in terms of rapping, in terms of rapping. I'm telling you what it was as someone who was there, who were those rappers' target audience. I was their age group audience. I was who they were targeting, me and a bunch of other people in my age cohort, my peers. That's what it was then to us. So we then have to describe what is the big three to you. When you say who's in the big three, what are you talking about by big three? Because I'm going back off yesterdecade's definition, and there's no changing the big three. It was Drake, it was Kendrick, and it was Cole. In retrospect, we're looking at it and, oh, who's in the big three? Who wasn't in the big three? Well, firstly, what do you mean by big three? Who's the most artistic? Or is it who has the best albums? Are we not counting sales? Is it most impact? I just like to get the definitions first. If we don't define these things first, we can get easily lost in endless debate, because I'm debating my definition and you're debating your definition, and we're not even speaking the same language at that point.
Tyler, the Creator. And, you know, I also think about longevity and consistency when it comes to this big three conversation, right? And, you know, if you take the current...
So now the big three is like now this ever-changing thing, right? The big three, the first time I ever heard it used in rap was Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. They were the three that are up next. They're the big three. They're next, and they're here and they're popular, but they're going to be the ones that lead the generation, which they were. So now if we're looking at, like, it's like, what do we mean by big three? Are we only talking about rappers from that era? Are we talking about the most popular rappers? Again, we just have to define what we mean by big three. Is Ice Cube in the big three? Or are we only talking about rappers but from yesteryear, but from what year? And then where's the cutoff? Does he make the cutoff? Dirk came after Cole, Drake, Kendrick, and Tyler. Dirk came after them, but not that far after. If Dirk doesn't make it, does A$AP Rocky make it? Rocky came after all those guys. Does Young Thug make it? Thug was out around that time, but Thug didn't get popular until later. Yeah, just definitions.
Big three, as people talk about Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole. That timeline lines up pretty well with Tyler, the Creators as well. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're still talking 9, 10, 11. You're still talking that same time period, sort of when they burst on the scene. The thing that immediately separates Tyler from those three, at least initially, is he didn't have a huge superstar cosign coming in the same capacity. He didn't have the Aftermath Dr. Dre banner. He didn't have the Jay-Z banner. He didn't have the Lil Wayne banner. So his entrance into the conversation, you know, was from a branding marketing standpoint sort of on his own, right? And so, you know, that needs to be noted, because honestly, his 3-album run, like I would call it 4-album run now, came in the second half of the decade. You know, like most of the time people start with their strongest stuff at the beginning. I don't know if we could say that about Kendrick necessarily. I would say that about J. Cole, and I would say that about Drake. I feel like their strongest works in terms of how they're received. I mean, J. Cole may be sort of in the middle. I think his middle run, Forest Hills Drive, KOD, For Your Eyes Only, tends to be his strongest stuff. Right. But Drake.
Yeah, I would say the warm-up in FNL is J. Cole's strongest stuff. And I'll also say J. Cole's recent stuff is also very strong. Drake, I've never really liked any of the music, so I won't even really speak on that like that, you know?
Definitely, I feel like his strongest stuff was at the beginning of his career, arguably, right? Tyler's hit his stride later in his career, and with other than what illusions he seems like he's throwing on this project, he doesn't seem like he has any plans on stopping.
No, and you know what's funny, and maybe this is like, I don't know if I know this is all vibes. This is 100% vibes. This is not reality what I'm about to say here, but please confirm to me if you feel the same way. Tyler to me just like comes off, in comparison, even with Kendrick, who I've consistently scored more positively than I ever have Tyler. To me, Tyler just comes across like younger. Like he feels like a spring chicken. Like I feel like I'm being introduced to a new artist, even though I'm very much not. He should be at a point.
Yeah, and I said this in my video, like Tyler was popular before Kendrick. In LA and nationally. Tyler and Kendrick obviously both from LA. Tyler was popular before Kendrick. Like Tyler was already performing on national TV before most of y'all even knew who Kendrick was. These are facts.
Point in his career where, as you say, he should be sort of like starting to turn down a little bit, and he should be maybe not at his least creative, but maybe more at a point where he's just merely putting out albums that are just sort of like appealing to the very solid fan base of people that he's established over this course of time. But instead, he's expanding his fan base, he's experimenting more, he's broadening things like aesthetically and conceptually. And as you say, it sort of makes you excited in a way that gives you the sense that like even the next 3 albums are going to be wildly different from each other in some way, shape, or form. That's going to keep you on the edge of your seat and keep you wondering what he's up to after this.
I think people feel that way about Tyler. There's like a little bit of, I think, a facade that Tyler throws at us. Every album is vastly different, and the first listen is very important to Tyler. That's why he doesn't put the features out there, things of that nature. So it's almost like you're listening to a new artist every time. I have my own personal thoughts about Tyler's music, but I'll let them cook.
The funny thing is that when I think of Tyler, to that point of he still seems like a spring chicken, he also seems to be growing more vocal about his competitiveness.
No, for sure.
Like how much he wants to be considered one of the best, top big 3, you know, from and I take it from a rapping standpoint too. I mean, even the Call Me.
Yeah, Tyler's not big 3 from a rapping standpoint. He's never been considered one of the best rappers. It's like when, let's use the NFL as an example. If Tyler was a quarterback, Tyler was never a top 5 or top 10 quarterback at any point in his career, if we're talking rapping ability. To me, Tyler just doesn't have that. I know people love to call me if you get lost joint. I'm not going to say the rapping was bad. To me, braggadocio Tyler is just not interesting. And it's not just that I don't like braggadocio raps. There are rappers who do it very well. You know, Shawty Low, not lyrical, but it sounds good, right? Tyler, if we're using the NFL as an example or the NBA, Tyler was never a top 10 player in terms of, you know, rapping ability. The rap game would have to drastically fall off for Tyler to be considered one of the best rappers. He's just not that guy. And even when he was in Odd Future, Tyler was not even the best rapper in his group, and it wasn't even close. Earl Sweatshirt was always the best one. Damo Genesis is a better rapper than Tyler. And there are even times where Mike G was just more interesting on the rapping.
That is a rapper's rapper album. That's his.
That was the record he dropped because there were some people sort of questioning whether or not he still had validity as a rapper, still wanted to rap.
Right, exactly. And that whole press run, oh my God, the interview he did with Funk Flex is classic to me, right? Because he does a great job in that conversation outlining everything that he's accomplished, but also his hunger as an MC, as a rapper. I feel moments like that. I feel moments like that throughout this entire project, don't get me wrong, even though the conversation he's having is much broader than just, you know, I'm the number one guy, come and anybody come test me, you know.
I think it's a mistake for Tyler to continue to drop music like Call Me If You Get Lost, because I don't think his fan base really wants that. I think Tyler is in his best bag when he's doing the creative directing thing, like on Igor. Songs like Earthquake, I think is Tyler at his best. Songs like Boredom, Tyler at his best. Like there is like a certain direction that he's giving the track where he's just not super focused, like as if he's trying to hop on a DJ drama mixtape, like on Call Me If You Get Lost, a rap style mixtape. I just personally didn't like that album. I just didn't find it interesting.
But when he makes that Kendrick line, I think what's he say? I'm the biggest one in the West outside of Kenny. I
Sure, yeah, no, he does say that.
He's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. Right, and that's a big thing. That's a big thing because Kendrick is clearly number one guy. So, and from a number standpoint, does J. Cole, for example, do 291?
Well, numbers, I'm not really too concerned with numbers, but I think the biggest out West after Kendrick is DOJA Cat. I could be wrong. Let's look at DOJA Cat numbers and then we're gonna look at. Okay, so I'm not a numbers guy. Let's talk about albums guy. But I mean, just for shits and giggles, let's talk about numbers. DOJA Cat's albums, these are past albums. Scarlet was platinum. This was a pure rap album. DOJA Cat raps more on this album. Just a comparison. DOJA Cat raps more on this album than Lauryn Hill has rapped her entire career. I've done a video on this. Go watch it. DOJA Cat raps more on this album than Lauryn Hill has rapped literally in her entire career, including with the Fugees. Platinum, 2 times platinum, 2 times platinum. This one is gold. Let's see, Tyler. Platinum, 2 times, 2 times, gold, platinum. Okay, so both have multi-platinum albums. This Chromacopia, I don't see how that doesn't go platinum. Let's look at Billboard hits. Tyler has 0 number 1s, 2 top 10s. DOJA has 2 number 1s, 9 top 10s. Tyler has 46 songs on Billboard. DOJA has 26. DOJA has done it in half the time. Her debut album was 6 years ago. Tyler has been in this like 15 years already. DOJA has 6 years. Tyler has 15. So if we're talking numbers, which we are, the biggest out West after Kendrick is DOJA Cat.
Off of the next project? I don't know. You know, I feel like, and J. Cole for me, right, we're talking about a big three conversation. To me, that third spot is most vulnerable, right? Whether that's, I feel like Kendrick and Drake have been solidified as the 2 best guys of that generation for a long time, right? I think artistically, Kendrick has always proven it. Sales-wise, Drake has always proven it. That third spot, you know, I don't want to minimize J. Cole here, but there was a proximity.
The third spot is J. Cole's. If there was no J. Cole, there would be no big three conversation. We gotta outline what we mean by big three. I want to see if they get to it.
And a correlation to me that made the most sense for J. Cole when he was coming in. But that third spot has always seemed more vulnerable. Right?
It's really not either. It's not.
Projects. You know, I'd argue that J. Cole isn't necessarily trending in the right direction, right? I mean, he did double platinum for KOD, platinum for the off season. Might delete later. I'm not sure if it's gone platinum yet. I don't think it has. But it debuted with 115 first week. Right, as opposed to the offseason, which did 282 first week and KOD 241 first week, right? So that was 115 first week with a Kendrick Lamar diss track on it. Right.
Well, it's Might Delete. We're not treating Might Delete Later as a studio album, like as something he really rolled out. For what it was, Might Delete Later, for what it was, which is a EP, right? Full of throwaways. 100 plus K the first week is perfectly fine. 115 is great sales. What they call me if, so Fantano, Company Man, you guys love Call Me If You Get Lost too. So 115 sales is unacceptable for an EP. Let me see, was Might Delete Later by J. Cole? It's labeled as a mixtape, right? Which I think is fair, right? Because what is a mixtape nowadays, right? But there was really no promotion behind it like that. It wasn't treated like an album. So 115, let's just confirm what it did. Yeah, 115, that's accurate. So this is unacceptable, right? According to our friends over here. You guys love Call Me If You Get Lost. What did this do? 169. So we're talking about a difference of what, 54,000? They're both in the ones. This got 138 million on-demand streams. This got 153 million on-demand streams. This was a proper album by Tyler, rolled out, all that. This is a mixtape, probably full of fall-off throwaways. I mean, let's be fair. This debuted number 1 on Rap and Hip Hop. This debuted number 2 on Billboard top 200. And we're talking charts now. You guys can see me getting bored. This debuted also #1, but it debuted #1 also on Billboard 200. So I don't see a huge difference between Call Me If You Get Lost 169K and Might Deletes Later 115K, considering this is a mixtape with very little promo, with its top song being removed from the mixtape after a week, compared to Tyler with a whole album, proper rollout like he does.
Growth of the last 3 projects, you know, he has won best rap album at the Grammys. He's acknowledged by his artistic peers at the same time. The only thing that I question when it comes to whether Tyler is worthy of the big 3 is that if you shift that conversation to
see, between Tyler's last 3 albums, I don't think it's been that much growth. Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost, Chromacopia. Now, if you talk about the whole career, yes, from Cherry Bomb or from Wolf to Igor, yeah, that's growth. But the last 3, I mean, I don't know.
Lyricism. Lyricism in a traditional sense, I don't think he holds up next to either of those 3 at this point in time. Right.
When it comes to lyricism, Tyler, the Creator, is not even close to Kendrick or J. Cole. And not even Drake. Even in terms of like just songwriting, like, yo, get in the studio and let's say we had a songwriters challenge. Drake versus Kendrick versus J. Cole versus Tyler. And the challenge was, all right, everybody go in, write a song that's going to appeal to women. Write just bars. Just write all these different types of songs. Write 2 songs that's going to appeal to the masses. All right, now write 2 songs that's going to appeal to the underground heads. Tyler would come dead last in that. And it's not that he's not good. I just don't see Tyler as this super proficient rapper. His rapping actually kind of bothers me because I don't think it's that good, right? And his production bothers me too. I think J. Cole is actually even a better producer. And I'm not a fan of J. Cole beats at all. Tyler just tries different stuff and he gives you a new look, but a lot of that shit don't be sounding good.
I think that he's not nearly as dynamic on the track as J. Cole can be. You know, he doesn't lean into conventional similes and metaphors, generally speaking, which is something core hip-hop fans love about their MCs.
Tyler does drop metaphors and similes. That album that everybody like, Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler does that. He did a, just on a Chromacopia joint. Well, he did a simile that I actually like. He said, I got too much drive, I'm a terabyte. That's some regular rap shit. See, I think Tyler, he has done a great job at making himself appear as other in comparison to other rappers. Like, yo, those are rappers, but I'm other. And when I'm rapping on a track, I'm other. To me, he's not other. He's average to above average rapper when you compare him to his peers being people who came up in 09, 010. He's like an average to above average. He's not on Drake's level rapping. He's not on Kendrick's. He's not on Cole's. He's not on Freddie Gibbs. He's not on a lot of these guys' level. He's done a great job at, through all the different experimentation he does, he makes himself appear as other. And I'm way more creative than these guys. And I'm creative maybe, but rapping, no. In all facets.
I think he's littered with imagination, even if he doesn't punctuate it with, all the beautiful things I love about language in the same context. But at the same time, if you put Big Pun next to Tupac, I'm taking Tupac every day.
Right.
In what regard?
Again, so many questions kind of bouncing around in my head, but going off of exactly what you were just saying right there, I wonder if, like, as far as big 3 status goes, is it worth sort of like reconsidering what we consider to be lyricism that measures up to those?
No. First, you need to define what is the criteria for big 3. And I'll just say this. I was going to save this to the end of the video. If your criteria is like what Company Man said earlier, it's everything. We're not just considering lyrics. We're considering everything. I'm just going to assume you're talking about artists who came out in the early 2010s, right? Who got popular in the early 2010s. If that's the case, that's the criteria for big 3. We're considering everything. We're considering Grammys, sales, lyricism, albums, impact, creativity. If that's your criteria, and it's only considering artists who are popular late 2000s, early 2010s, there can only be 3 people. Tyler is definitely not one of them. And if you're not going to include J. Cole, which, I mean, doesn't even make sense to me because the conversation wouldn't exist without J. Cole, but let's humor this. There's 3 people, and If we're not including J. Cole, Tyler is not on this, period. There's Drake, there's Kendrick, and there's, dramatic pause, Nicki Minaj. There's Drake, there's Kendrick, there's Nicki Minaj. If we just talking bars, rapping ability, the ability to get on different types of songs, to get on other people's beats, not just staying in the comfort of your own beats and then you can do all these different things to make the song sound more appealing because your rapping is a little average, above average. If we're talking about he can get on this person's beat, he can get on a T- beat, he can get on a old school mixtape beat from Wu-Tang or Biggie and Eminem, Dead Wrong. He can get on an R&B track. Tyler has not shown the ability to do that. I don't know why people, actually I do know why people are so enthralled with Tyler, but there is no big rapper 3 conversation where Nicki Minaj doesn't exist. If you're considering everything, Nicki Minaj can get on this beat. She can get on a feature with Mariah Carey. She can do a song for the chicks. She can do a straight rapping song. She can get on a track in Merck, Kanye, Rick Ross, and Jay-Z. She has been in battle. She's battle tested. She has released diss tracks. Tyler, I guess he had a Brandon Deshae diss track. Tyler has not. Tyler has not proven to me, like he has to y'all, that he is big 3 worthy. He's a hip hop legend for sure. Tyler to me is more like RZA. I think I made this comparison in my other video. Is RZA one of the best rappers? No. RZA sounds best if he even sounds good at all when he's rapping. Because there's a couple songs where it's like, RZA, what are you got to go. He's at best when he's in the comfort of his own production, where he's able to do things to compensate for his lack of interesting raps. Tyler is similar to me. RZA is in his best mode as a creative, directing things. Yo, your verse goes here, your voice goes here. We're gonna layer the vocals here. We're gonna bring this person in. Oh, call up him, they'll be good on this song. Oh, call on this producer, add some chords here. That's Tyler also. That's RZA, that's Tyler. There is no big 3 conversation, and we'll end it right here because I don't think they're gonna talk about criteria, and I doubt they even mention Nicki Minaj. Because no one does. Really, the big 3 is Kendrick, Cole, and Drake. That's it. This conversation wouldn't exist without one of them. Because for the time where they came up, they were the big 3. They were up next. And they rose above everyone. They were a cut above everyone. And it was a lot of, it's not like how it was today. But there was like 50 rappers out. And like 20 of them was legit fire, good. And we didn't know who was going to be. Even Wale was looking like he might, you know, Cole, Kendrick, Drake were a cut above all of them. You might not agree with the big 3 today, or you might not understand why. I think Company Man and Fantano understand why because they were there at the time. But others may not understand why is Cole on this. You know, you're about 18 years old. I mean, 18, like, bro, you don't even know rap without Drake, without Kendrick, without Cole. I don't expect you to fully understand. But there's no big 3 without J. Cole. So if we're going to go back and reimagine the big 3, we have to talk criteria. And if you're not including J. Cole, Tyler is not above Nicki. If you're including everything, that's why I guess you gotta let me know. What is your criteria? Tyler is not above Nicki Minaj in the big 3. If it's Kendrick and it's Drake and we're excluding J. Cole for whatever reason, it's Nicki Minaj. She's battle tested. She can hop on an R&B track. She can hop on this dude's beat, that dude's beat. She can hop on a track with Wayne and stand out. She can hop on a track with Jay-Z and stand out. She's battle tested. She's released diss records. She has the accolades. She has the #1s. She's not just rapping in her own comfort zone. She's rapped on Kanye beats. She's rapped on old school hip hop beats on her mixtapes. And when you compare her to Tyler, like Tyler, the Creator, is not like this. He's not any noticeably better at rapping than Nicki Minaj. And y'all know how I feel about Nicki Minaj if you watch my videos. I don't even think Nicki Minaj is that great at rapping. See, the Barbs, they was with me for a second, but now they're like, oh, you disrespecting. Like Nicki Minaj has never spat no shit where I'm like, damn, let me rewind that. The shit is like basic rapping, but she has, it's like above average at best, like consistently. And Tyler is like the same, average to above average, but Tyler, the Creator, doesn't have, he's always in his own comfort zone. And he's never proven to me, even on the rapidy rap, Call Me If You Get Lost. But them raps is like, this shit is not a cut above anything J. Cole has put out. Tyler has a lot of people, he's done a great job at making himself seem like other. So when he raps, you don't even hear it the same way as you might hear someone else spitting those same bars, because he's done a great job at making people view him as other, more than a rapper. A lot of rappers try to do that. Oh, I'm a rock star, I'm not just a rapper. They're saying it too much. Tyler has done it without saying it. And I think I don't want to say fooled, because I don't think he's fooled anybody. I don't think he's intentionally trying to fool anybody, but people have found themselves viewing him as other. There are just two constants that we have to keep in mind in this video. Number one is, if we're not including J. Cole in the big three, first you have to describe what the big three is to you, the criteria. If we're not including J. Cole, Tyler does not go before Nicki. Facts. And number two, Tyler, the Creator, is not the second biggest out west after Kendrick. That would be DOJA Cat.
Facts.
She's been in the game for half the time that Tyler has, and has arguably accomplished more faster. And I would argue that DOJA Cat is actually a better rapper. She has a similar thing Nicki Minaj has. She has many rapping styles. See, Tyler has many styles musically. That's why he has all these different sounds on albums and productions. DOJA has many different rapping styles. She didn't have to bend her voice with the vocal effects. She could really jump on a pop song and freak a pop song. And you like, dang, who was that? You hearing, you in Target, you like, what song is this? It's kind of grooving. That's DOJA Cat. Then she could just go on Scarlet and just give you a full rap album. She has multiple rap styles. Tyler don't have that. With all due respect, these are all hip hop legends we're talking about, by the way. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Tyler is above Nicki Minaj in the big three? What's your criteria for the big three? And is Tyler the second biggest out west after DOJA Cat? Like, how does that work? Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.